Welcome back to Paying It Forward. Today we'll be covering how you can start your journey to mental wellness and the resources available at home to help you get started. Hello everyone, I hope you've had a good week. Welcome back. Today I will be covering ways in which you can start your mental wellness journey without feeling that you have to approach a professional or a charity if you don't feel ready. Most people find that they have to start their journey in baby steps. I recently have been reflecting on how I have reached the path that I am now on. I felt the best way to make you feel welcome and understood was to share my story with you. So, I'll get straight into it. When I was 13, my mother very suddenly passed. It was very unexpected and it had a very big impact on our family. I think I was 15 or 16 before I began to understand that I may be suffering from depression. I have known many people over the years who have had a variety of mental health issues, and my own issues over the years primarily have been depression and anxiety. I have not had an anxiety attack in probably about 2 years now, so I'm doing really well. As I explained in my last episode, I have recently come through the other side of a course of therapy. I'm now 32 and it took me probably about 17 years to sum up the courage to actually go to a therapist for my grief and approach the things that had happened to me as a teenager. So I fully understand that there is no specific time that you have to approach a mental health issue. It takes a lot of strength and it can be very difficult to talk about how you're feeling. But this is why we're here today, to try and break the stigma. If you're not ready, that is okay. It is okay to take it at your own pace. On another note, I will be today reviewing resources that you can use to benefit you from home if you feel that you want to make a start but you're not ready to take the bigger steps. But having said that, it is always best, if possible, to use these resources alongside professional help. It can be a long journey for a lot of people, but today I am here to encourage you that if you feel you want to make the first steps, then that is absolutely wonderful. So I wanted to start with reviewing a few mobile phone apps that I myself have used and also my friends have made the most of over the last few years, and I found that they really helped me. So I'm going to start with one that probably everybody knows, and that is Headspace. Headspace was the first application that I used in my journey, and this was a couple of years back. I decided that I wanted to start with mindfulness because I had heard that it was a very good technique for calming. Waking up in the morning and taking those 5 or 10 minutes before you start your day is such a game changer. It's really easy to use. You can select the amount of time in a day that you want to spend on mindfulness, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I think it's anything up to half an hour. It's a really wonderful app, so that's my first recommendation. My second recommendation is MoodPath. This was an app that I opened and decided to try again because I was feeling adventurous and I wanted to see what resources were out there. It's actually really helpful for people that want to try and understand what they might be feeling. 3 times a day, you open up Mood Path, you answer a range of questions, and you enter in the thoughts that you've been having, and it explains your thought processes to you. After, I think it's 14 days, it will review the flow of your moods, and it will give you a bit of information about what it thinks from its analysis you think you are going through. I know at one point, one of the first times I used it, it's evaluated that I was going through a moderate depressive phase, which was quite regular for me a few years back. Once it has evaluated you, it then directs you to sources and advises you to obviously seek professional help, as is the natural path. It's a very easy, light tool to use. It's got a lot of different avenues of reading material and information about mental health. The next app that I want to recommend is Calm. Calm is really wonderful. I used it in the evenings to go to sleep because, as many people know, that is the time when your brain starts up in overdrive. So when you open Calm, you have a range of different soundscapes that you can use. My favourite was rain. I still frequently use rain soundtracks to get myself to sleep if I'm feeling restless or if I've had a busy day. It's got a brilliant design to it. Some people may find it well worth it because if you suffer with anxiety disorders or anything like that, it could really help. To add on top of that, I would like to recommend to all of you UK people the website of a friend of mine who is a therapist. His name is Duncan and he runs Mind Affinity. And I happen to know at the moment he is running what he calls a relaxation program. I will put a link in the description to his website. It looks absolutely fantastic and really exciting. So I'd urge you to check that out if you'd like another home resource. So on to books. I am going to make a warning before I go on to these books. I have read a few books in the last year that have been absolutely mind-blowing. But if you are feeling low, I would advise being careful reading some of these, or like I do, listening to them, because they really can touch a nerve, and if you're feeling a little bit sensitive, then it can be difficult to listen to or read some of the things that are in these books. I'm all for helping people, but I don't want to trigger anyone. So, on we go. First book suggestion is Notes on a Nervous Planet by Matt Haig. I've just finished reading this book and it is fantastic. A story of his own journey with anxiety. He covers the background noise of life, the humdrum whir that we've gotten used to. He also covers a range of mental health issues. Alongside anxiety, he explains the depths of depression and also suicidal thoughts. If you do feel that you are having suicidal thoughts, please approach either a charity or a professional for help with these thoughts. My next recommendation is It's Not Okay to Feel Blue and Other Lies. Inspirational people open up about their mental health. This is written by Scarlett Curtis, and again, it's one that you could read, but I would actually advise that you listen to, because I believe on Audible it is read by the people that submitted the testimonies. I can't even begin on this one. It's delightful in places. There were times where I was crying my eyes out, realising that actually people had felt exactly what I had. So again, it's fantastic to check out to help you understand that you are not alone. I felt completely speechless at the end of this book. It's a mix of poetry and testimonies from well-known people. If you want to see what people under the spotlight feel like, you wouldn't be surprised to find it's not so far off what the average Joe can feel. Last but not least, my last recommendation is A Guide to the Good Life. The Ancient Art of Stoic Joy by William Braxton Irvine. This is a book that I read a couple of years ago under somebody's recommendation, and I'm really impressed. It explains the ancient philosophy and how you can apply it in modern day life. I found this book really calming, to almost to a degree that it makes you analyse your thought processes, which really helped me when I was feeling in a bit of a anxious knot. It's something that you can apply to modern day life. It explains the differences between how it was applied all those years ago and how it can be applied today, and the changes that we've gone through. This is fantastic for anyone who might be suffering from anxiety. I highly recommend it. And Stoicism as a philosophy, I think, is really fantastic, so give that a go if you've got time. I also need to mention a workbook that one of my good friends recommended. I'm going to have to read the title because it's quite long. It is the Dialectical Behaviour Therapy Skills Workbook. There should be a picture there. And she said that this is quite a good one to use alongside seeing a professional. So if you are in treatment of some kind or working through some issues with a professional, then that might be one to give a check out. Okay everyone, that's it for today. Do you have any recommendations of books or applications or anything like that that you found a really helpful mental health tool at home? If you do, please let me know down in the comments, and I will try and give it a mention either on a video or on my social media somewhere so that people can make use of it. I will be back in a couple of weeks. Next time we will be covering keeping routine in COVID-19. If you have had any experiences during the lockdown that you would like to let people know of, that you feel have affected your mental health or the services that you receive, please feel free to fill out the anonymous testimony form below. All the data input into that form will be used as research for my website when it goes up. Also, if you have been shielding over COVID and you've been high risk or been living with someone who's been high risk, or you've been helping them to shield, please again feel free to let me know on that form. If you like what you've seen today, please don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Keep safe everyone. Bye.